What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Life at the Lockup Season 3, Episode 50. Why do they insist on doing this to us, right? The episode was titled The Sober Truth, you guys. So, before we do get into this video, if you guys are watching the video and are not already yet subscribed to the channel, I'm going to need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for my meal at the end of it. Do me a big favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Now, with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss Life at the Lockup, shall we? All right, you guys, so it's gloomy. It looks like it's going to rain today. I'm not too positive about that, but it looks like it's going to rain today. So, let's start up with, who do we want to start up with? Let's start up with Brittany and Marcelino. Yeah, let's do them. It wasn't much with them. Like I said last week in last week's review, I really believe like the stuff with Brittany and Marcelino. I just believe that some of it is put on for the show, right? Because I'm just trying to figure out, how did you guys put everything into Robert's name, right? Because you guys remember in the last episode that we ended with Brittany, Marcelino, Kanan, and the other guy with the U-Haul truck over at the sober living house that Kanan has been staying at, right? So they're still knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, ding, 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 knock, 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 ding, 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 knock, knock, knock. And I'm just like, why don't y'all just bust the door open? You're not, if Kanan's name is on this lease as well, that means you guys are not trespassing. That means you guys are well within your rights to be at that house. Her name is on it. You guys are her guests, so you guys can freely go in, right? So then, like I said, his name is on everything. They said his name is on the business. His name is on the checking account and the lease. A man that you guys don't really know like that, why would y'all do something like that, right? That doesn't make sense. I know Brittany said earlier in the season that, you know, felons can't get a checking account, right? But you guys inform me that that is in fact not true. A felon can get a checking account, right? Well, can a felon that robbed a bank get a checking account? Like, I would think that they're the exception, right? Someone who robbed a bank, they can't get a checking account, can they? Let me know in the comments. If you know that one, you can let me know. But all of this stuff, his name is on the lease, right? Now, unless y'all all have poor renting history, I don't understand it. And then here's my thing. Excuse me, y'all. Didn't mean to drop the phone. Here's my other thing, right? Let's just say Brittany. Let's say Brittany and Kanan, they have, you know, they again, like I said, unless you robbed the bank, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to get a checking account. But let's just say, for the sake of saying, right, that Brittany and Kanan, they have, you know, either bad credit, whatever. Let's just say they have, you know, just say that their history, you know, their history is mush, right? Why not then your husband, Marcelino? I don't think Marce has not been to jail. Like, why not use Marcelino? That's where my question to come from. Why not use him instead of using a virtual stranger that technically Brittany and Marcelino don't know anything about? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So then Kanan finally realized, hey, I have a key. I'm like, so you've had a key this entire time that Brittany's been ringing that doorbell, knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, knocking on the door? You've had a key this entire time. Okay. So they said that Kanan was calling the cops. So then they go into the house and the cops do show up, right? And then they start getting what they want to get out the house. He won't let them into the rooms, right? But they're able to get some of the beds out. They're able to get some of the clothing racks out, and I think they got some boxes of clothes, right? I'm like, this for me, this storyline just really doesn't make a lot of sense. There are a lot of holes when it comes to this storyline that I just don't necessarily think we have the full picture of. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we have the full picture of what's what with this storyline. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and we're going to move it on forward. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about Sarah and Sean, right? So this episode picked up where we left off the last one with Sarah and Sean, right? You guys remember Sean last week's episode was giving Sarah the ultimatum, and the ultimatum was, if she didn't meet up with him, that the relationship was over. Which I'm like, really? Sean is trying to manipulate this girl. I'm like, you realize it's manipulation, right? Like, that's the only way you can get a woman is to manipulate her, to bribe her by doing nice things for her. That is the only way you can get a woman, Sean, at this point. You're pathetic. So, like I said, he's manipulating her to come see him. And Sarah feels bad, right? I'm like, Sarah, you ain't got nothing to feel bad about, right? No one told this old fool to hop his dumb ass up and move to another state to be with a woman that he had never met before. Only thing that you guys have done is communicate via the phone or via email or mail or the postal mail. Like, however, that was the only way that you guys have communicated. And he uprooted his life, he uprooted his life and left his 6 children. Girl, if you you know what, I will say one thing about Sarah, right? I know that they're currently watching the show with us. If they're still filming Life After Lockup at this point, and she's watching the show with us and she's still with him, you got a problem as well. Because I would have a huge issue with anybody, man or woman. I would have a huge issue with a person that just could uproot their lives. Like, if I'm dating someone, and you say, oh, but he told her he got kids. She knows he has kids, I believe. She just doesn't know how many kids he got. I'd be like, wait a minute, you left your kids for me? That's not cute. And I would literally say that to you. I'm like, that's not cute. You left your kids where they are to come be with me? So I come before your kids? And I would literally say that. So I come before your kids. Well, yeah. No. Your kids? How do you leave your kids? So he says he'll text her an address, and if she shows up, she shows up. She doesn't, that's a wrap, right? I'm like, Sean, you making these demands of her, but yet instead you're the one that's keeping the secrets. The only secret that we know, I think that might be the only secret of Sarah, right, was her daughter. And I understand why, I fully understand why Sarah did what she did with her mother and with her daughter. I understood it, right? And we'll talk about it in just a little bit, right? So she got off the phone with that dumb fool, and her mom was there talking to her, right? And her mom was like, she wants Sarah to focus on herself, right? She doesn't want her to get caught up in anything and, basically kind of revert back to the person that she was prior to getting out of prison, which I understand there, right? And I have high hopes for Sarah. I actually really like Sarah. I like Sarah a lot more than I like Destiny, and I like, and I still don't like Sean. Sean is just a douchebag. So then we see Sean and Sarah, they're meeting for breakfast, right? I was surprised she actually met the food, right? But I guess on some level she might care about him, or on some level use him for whatever he can, give you. Actually, I would go for the latter. Use that fool for whatever he buys you, does for you. Use him up, right? Like, I really do feel bad for her because he's lying to her and manipulating the shit out of her. So they have breakfast, and he's talking about he wants to meet her mom and her daughter. I was like, wait a minute, pump the brakes, Sean. You want to meet her mother and her daughter. Why? That would have been a red flag to me. Like, yes, we've been talking, and she said that they had been talking on the phone, right? Like, she said that they had been talking on the phone, and what else was it? I'm trying to think about. Yeah, she said they had been talking on the phone from since she's been out of prison, but I don't know you well enough to bring you around my mother or especially my daughter. Like, that's a big stretch to ask her to meet her daughter. You don't even know her like that. So why would I bring my child around you? Just because you don't care about your kids doesn't mean she doesn't care about her kid. I really can't stand Sean, you guys. But let's move on. All right, you guys. Next, let's talk about Lacey, Shane, and John. So we see Lacey and Shane, they're going to the gym, right? And she has a whole attitude with him, right? Instead of her just coming flat out and saying, hey, Shane, so I went through your phone the other day when we were at the beach, and I saw a message from someone, a woman, and I just want to know who was she. But she didn't do that, right? She says Shane's gonna be really upset with me if he ever finds out that me and John aren't talking to each other. But I don't care after reading those texts. Like, I really feel insecure. I feel stupid, like he's cheating on me, and he's done it before. Lacey, technically Shane didn't cheat on you before. He kissed another woman, but that's technically not. I mean, if you want to call it, I mean, it is it's a very loose term of cheating, right? Because he didn't act on anything, right? So he's showing her how to work out, right? And, she's on the bike. Then this girl comes up to him and they're talking, right? They're just having like normal conversation. If you guys go to the gym, like I have friends when I go to the gym, I got friends that come up to me and talk to me. We have conversation. Like I actually have I have a friend that used to work at my gym. She no longer works there. Her name is Mika. She used to mess with me all the time when I used to come into the gym, right? And she doesn't even work there anymore. She just comes out and works out, and she messes with me she messes with me all the time. And we just have a friendly banter with each other, right? It's just friendly. But if you looked at us, you would think that it looks like flirting, right? But we just have friendly banter with each other, right? And I have other friends there at the gym that I work out with that I joke with, I joke with. So I got that, right? And like I said, it can look a little bit flirtatious, right? Like actually, another one of my friends, he and I are we did become friends from the gym. The trainer that worked at my gym, him and I actually became friends, right? Because he noticed me when I first started coming to the gym, and then after about a year, he's like, "Wow, man, you lost a lot of weight." And now I'll put the shit back on. What the fuck is he doing? Okay, I'm distracted because there's a man behind the car. I don't know if it's this new man that moved across the street or what, but whatever. But so yeah, I didn't think anything of it. He said you look good, right? That's what you say, and that is something that you say to people in the gym, right? Like, hey, I see you're working hard, you're looking good. But Lacey got in her feelings about that. So she was like, we brought me to a public place. I'm not going to go. But what was that? He tells her it was nothing. That's like that's what you say to someone when you see that they're working out and they look good. He tells her that, so yeah, Lacey got mad and she walked out, right? So then he's outside with Lacey, right? He tells Lacey he's just going to, he's just working out with the woman. That's it. She tells him that I saw the text messages between you and whatever old girl's name is. Forgot what her name was. He asked her, why would you go through my phone? Exactly. Like, Lacey, have you never heard the age-old saying, if you go looking for something, you're going to find it? So you went looking for something, and you found what you were looking for. Is it the smoking gun that you were looking for? Yes or no? I don't know. But the age-old saying is, if you go looking for something, you're always going to find something. And like I've been saying, right, for me personally, like, I'm not going to sit here and go through a person's phone. If I get the inclination that you're cheating on me, and I ask you flat out, are you cheating? And you say no, that's it. If by chance, the one thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going through your phone. I don't have time for that. Because if I get to the point where I feel like, you know what, I need to go to your motherfucking phone and see who you texting. If I get to that point in my brain where it's like I gotta go through your phone, go through your DMs and stuff like that to see who you're texting or talking to, I'm just gonna say let's dead this situation. Let's dead it, Because if I feel like you're cheating, then there's no purpose in us being together, right? Like, there's no purpose. I'd rather a situation like with Deontay, Nicole, and Ty, which we'll talk about them in just a little bit. But if I got to go through your phone and just wonder who you talking to, it ain't gonna work for me. So Shane says he's willing to do a lie detector test to prove that he's not cheating. So we will move on, you guys. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about Brittany and Ray. Brittany's proven more and more in this episode why I don't like her, right? She's proven more and more in this season why I don't like her. It's interesting, right? You don't like you like the felon, but you don't like the person that's not a felon. Just don't like it, Miss Brittany. So Brittany and Ray, they're getting in the car and they're gonna go over to her parents' house, right? Now the one thing that I did notice, and it could have been like, because I was looking at this when they got in the car, the sun was still out, right? But when they made it to Brittany's parents' house, it was pitch black outside. So I'm like, I know y'all didn't go far in Houston. I know y'all didn't go that far to get to your parents' house. So I'm assuming like maybe it was late in the afternoon, like maybe about 5 or 6, and they probably got there. Well, maybe about 5 or 6, and they got there as the sun had went down. Because I'm like, I know y'all did not go that far. Your parents can't live that far from you. It's Houston, and I've been to Houston, so I know the Houston area pretty well. Yeah, y'all must have left late in the afternoon. But why would you do that? But see, and that's the thing about Brittany that I don't like. Brittany tries to it's like she ambushes people to do the things that she wants them to do. And that's not how things work. Like, I get it. You want your mom to meet Ray, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But, and see, for a person like me, I don't give a damn if you family or not. Don't come to my door knocking uninvited. If I didn't tell you to come over, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be standing outside knocking on that damn door because I'm not answering it. Like, I'm not answering my door. If you come over to my house, I'm like, wait a minute. Who told you to come over here? Oh, I was in the neighborhood. Well, you can circle the neighborhood. You can circle my neighborhood, and then once you make that circle your way out, and next time you come over here, call first. Ask me, is it okay if you come over to my house? You know what I'm saying? That's how I operate. That's how I operate. Even with me, like, I'll ask, like, when it comes to my friends and my family, I'll text them. I'll text people and say, are you at home? Like, what are you doing? Before I actually just show up to somebody's house. I don't just go. Only person's house that I've ever done that to in my lifetime is my grandmother, my big mama. She's the only person whose house I just show up to uninvited because it's my big mama, and her door was always open. So she was always at home. So I knew she was here. Hell, so yeah, this is the only house that I've ever done that to. But my friends, my family, I text and call them. I'm like, hey, are you at home before I come over there, right? Are you at home? Are you busy? I'll do stuff like that, but I just don't show up at people's houses unexpectedly. I don't even know if Brittany really necessarily showed up unexpectedly. I'm just guesstimating based off her mom's conversation, right? I was looking at her mama's hair. I'm not trying to be funny or rude or nothing like that, but that wig that her mama had on, I was looking all right here. I'm like, where are her edges at? Like, are her edges covered up by these curls? Because I was really looking for her mama's edges. Not being funny, I was really looking for her mama's edges. Now, I don't necessarily like Brittany's mom either, right? Brittany's mom said one thing that I was in agreement with, right? She didn't raise Brittany to take care of a man. She raised Brittany to be able to take care of herself. I applaud that part, right? But I don't understand what her issue is with meeting Ray. She doesn't want to meet Ray. Oh, he needs to be on his job for 3 months, and then I can meet him. Ma'am, who are you? Like, you act like you act like you raised Princess Diana or somebody. Now, like I said, I get it. You don't want her to take care of him. But she's telling you this boy, he has a job. And I'm pretty sure you should figure out that the boy has restitution. So if he has a job, that means he's taking care of his bills. It might not be a lot of money, but he's taking care of his bills. And if he can contribute to Brittany, I'm pretty sure he will. Somebody, if that job doesn't pay enough, then he can get a second job. I always think of didn't Brittany say she went to college, right? Yeah, Brittany said she went to college. I believe she said it. Did she graduate is the question. Because I remember in one episode, Brittany said she's working 2 jobs. Now, I'm not judging anybody who works 2 jobs. I've done it, but it's not ideal for me, right? It was draining. I got off of this is when I was this actually was 2 years ago almost, right? When I didn't have a car and I had just got into my apartment after being, without a job, after I lost my last job that I had. So yeah, I was working at my insurance company, Allstate, and the reason why I had to get the second job because they just weren't paying enough. They were not paying me nearly enough. It wasn't enough to sustain. So I was working Allstate. Then I had got off at Austin. I was working part-time at Michael's. Easy job, but it was just tiring. Like, got off from Allstate at 4:30, 4 in the afternoon. Actually, it was 4 o'clock. Got off at 4. No, it was 4:30. Got off at 4:30. Go to Michael's, work from 5 until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Go home, do videos, go to sleep, do it over again. The kid was tired. And that's what I was saying to myself when I was thinking, I'm like, damn, I went to college. I got my degree. I never thought that I would have to work a second job to make ends meet. Like, you go to college thinking, hey, college is a bit of a scam, right? But whatever, right? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing, right? So I don't have an issue with people who work 2 jobs, but I just feel that if you have a degree, it's kind of working backwards. I get you want to have multiple streams of income, right? But when I think of multiple streams of income at this point, right, is if you have a main job, right, and then you have side hustles. Like for me now, I'm at a point now where I won't have to work a second job anymore, and I'm happy about that. I'm at a point where I won't have to work a second job because I have YouTube that makes me money. I have Uber Eats. That is it is gig work, but it's easy money. Like, that's what I prefer, easy money. I don't want to just have to. I prefer easy money. I can make a few $100s in a few hours. That's what I'm thinking about. That's for me. Basically being my own boss. I don't know why I went into that whole tangent, but hey, you guys got it. Didn't mean to, but we did it. So yeah, Brittany's mom is just a little bit too judgmental for me, right? Like, you could at least say hi to the man. And like I said, I do get it. If Brittany sprung him on you, that's different, right? But it's just a judgment for me. And then Brittany and Ray go home, right? She wants to have sex because she's ovulating. And I'm just like, why is she so adamant about having a baby at this point, right? And then she says she has a secret that Ray doesn't know. I'm like, oh, what is that? How old you are? That's the only thing I can think of is how old you are, because you're not 33. You just don't look it. You look a hard 40. Sorry. Maybe 45. All right, you guys, let's move on and wrap the episode up. All right, you guys, let's talk about Deontay and Nicole. We briefly saw Ty in this episode. So, Deontay, this fool literally met up with Nicole, right? So, now she got dropped off in a Uber or whatever, and Ty was in the car with her. I'm like, oh, okay. So, he meets her. He's like, why am I here, Nicole? It's just, I haven't heard from you in months, so what's going on? So she said that, she wanted to talk to him, and she really misses him. I'm like, girl, you miss him giving you money. That's what you miss. You don't miss Deontay, right? So then she starts to, fake cry and whatnot. I'm like, I ain't seen that one tear. Like, I just need a minute to myself. Like, I have anxiety. Like, I have anxiety. You have anxiety. Okay, Nicole. Good one. So then Deontay is looking at Nicole. He's like, oh my God. Her appearance is so different. I'm like, is it really? What's so different about her appearance? Besides the fact that even though she tells us in the interview that she has a push-up bra. I'm like, okay, a push-up bra. I guess if you say so, Nicole, right? So he's talking about the fact that she was bigger when she got out of prison. And they did show us a flashback scene. And I was looking at him like, she doesn't look different to me. Let me know, does she look different to you guys? But to me, she didn't look any different. She looked the same. But he's saying she's skinny. I'm like, okay, if you say so. So then, she comes back, right? They talk. He's once again talking about this anxiety. And I'm like, girl, you ain't got nobody's anxiety. Whatever. So then he starts fake crying. I'm like, what the hell is going on here, right? He says, he's asking her, why me? I'm like, okay, why you? Then he said, do you know what I've been through because of you? I'm like, Deontay, I guess you must be having one of those inner cries because there's no tears coming out. No tears. Your eyes aren't watery. So I'm like, I guess this must be like one of those inner cries. Cool. I got you, right? He says, you just throwing me away like a piece of trash. Okay. Okay. So then she starts talking to him, right? And out of nowhere, she asks him, does he want to be in a poly relationship with she and Ty? I was like, oh my God. He was like, that's most men's dream, right? And there's enough D to go around, but I only want Nicole. I'm like, ew, there's enough D to go around. Okay, Deontay, I'm going to throw up now. So he asked her about she and Ty, and she says that they are together and that she knows that, she's talking to him, right? And he says, but, I don't really like her like that. And again, he just wants to be with her. So they were getting ready to leave. He says, so she's like, are you going to take me home or do I have to walk? I would have said you have to walk home. But he took her home. So then she starts talking about the fact that, at one point she says, I don't have money for this. I don't have money for that. I think he offered her some money. She says, no, it would be too easy to take the money from you, but I'm not. I'm like, oh. Okay, Nicole, you're really playing the game at this point, right? So then, she was talking to us in the interview. She was like, Tia thinks that she just wants him for the money, but that's not what it is. She still cares about Deontay. She still has feelings for him. I'm like, girl, I don't care who tell her, but whatever. That's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it, everything. Leave your comments in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified. Want to drop anything else, share the video, and until the next one, you guys, do me a solid favor and stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, you guys? So that is it for me. I am off of here, and I'll see you guys later on for, so the reviews are going to get, so we're going to have a shorter schedule going forward because all we got now on the weekend is Love and Marriage Huntsville and Potomac and Salt Lake City. Because Power Book 3 is gone and Power Book 2 is not coming back until November. And then also Real Housewives of Potomac's finale is on the 31st. All right, you guys. So I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.